Episode 31, EQ Recording Multimedia, Fort Myers, Florida. We are here tonight. It's a beautiful night here in Southwest Florida. What's up, Nick? How's everything going?
What up, Alan? It's nice to be back in the studio. I feel like we definitely have some lapses in which we're not in here, but every time we get back in here, the creativity just starts flowing. But I'm doing good, bro.
It's because of life, man. Life, it gets busy. You know, we're out there grinding. We're out there hustling, man. You know?
So as you see, we have a crowd on our table here. So we'll go ahead and get them introduced real quick.
Who are these lovely ladies that are here with us tonight?
We're definitely in respect to them. We're collaborating with the Heels Off, Let's Talk podcast. So we'll have them introduce themselves.
Whoop, whoop. Building. So welcome back, beautiful people. It's your girl Shakira, of course, and I'm rocking with my two lovely ladies, Valerie and Nicola. But as you can see, we are not alone. We are joined by the men of Toast to the Goodfellas, Nick and Alan, in the building.
Hey.
We just want to say we are just so privileged and honored for this collaboration because we all know it's long overdue. We've been talking about this for months.
Yeah.
We just want to say we admire you guys' work ethic and everything that you're doing for Southwest Florida, and just just beyond. We just want to know what are you guys looking forward to in the future? And just tell us about yourselves and what made you guys want to start Toast to the Goodfellas, and just kind of an introduction, per se. Just you guys have the floor. I'll stop talking now.
So thank you for that. We appreciate the recognition, but we definitely see you guys doing big things too. So don't feel like you guys don't have the spotlight on you, because we definitely see you guys doing big things. But like I said, my name is Nicholas. In terms of why we started the Toast to the Goodfellas podcast, I would say me and Alan, one day we were talking about podcasts, and we were just talking about different issues, and all of a sudden it just clicked to us. I was like, why don't we start a podcast of ourselves? And each of us came with different topic ideas of what we eventually would talk about. Mm-hmm. And then it came about where everything that we had mentioned kind of relates to Southwest Florida in general. Mm-hmm. You know, some of the because we both went to school here, both FGC alumni.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Go FGC, go Eagles.
Go Eagles. Go Eagles,
right?
yeah.
Represent.
Yep.
We live here in Fort Myers, and there's times where we're chatting, but there's also times where we don't have the time to really, go in depth with certain things.
Right.
So being able to have a platform where we can go in depth with certain things, certain topics, but also kind of highlight some of the businesses, the go-getters in the community, the other people that are doing and grinding every day. I think that kind of really inspired us to continue our grind, because me and Alan were very productive. I would say we're very productive in our everyday schedules. I work 2 jobs. I also have my dog, I have my girlfriend, and I do this podcast on the side. And Alan has a laundry list of things that he does too, but I'll have him talk a little bit more about that.
I don't want to bore anybody to death. All right.
But at the end of the day, I feel like we wanted to meet people in the community that matches our grind, matches our ability to produce quality, motivational things. And I feel like there are a lot of businesses out here that are doing very positive things in the community, and they don't get noticed. So we kind of want to put that spotlight on them.
Just to piggyback off Nick. I mean, first of all, my name is Alan. All right, I'm from Miami, Florida. Moved here in 2014. Been here since. So diehard South Floridian. I guess if that's a thing, But just to piggyback off Nick, we started a podcast because we want to highlight this community. This community has a need, and that need is for, recognition. It's the fastest growing city. Fort Myers is the fastest growing city in the nation per Business Insider, and Business Insider is a legit source, So, I see that, and I'm like, man, we're right in between Miami and Tampa. Why don't we just, why don't we start something beautiful and, give that recognition that Southwest Florida deserves. You know what I mean? Yeah. And, we do podcasting, and we've had local entrepreneurs, local musicians, local artists, And, you know, our audience has absolutely loved the conversations that we've had, you know. And, you know, something that we're tapping into right now is helping small businesses, you know, with their social media marketing and offering them like podcasting services and stuff. Podcasting is like the new trend now, you know. I'm sure like you see like everybody wants to do a podcast, and honestly they're very I feel like they're very like therapeutic, you know. And I feel that, you know, it's another industry that somebody could tap into, you know, and make a career out of. And, you know, we want to highlight that. We want to, you know, give ourselves, you know, that exposure as well. And, you know, just connect with people. Like, I'm a people person. I love connecting with people. You know, I love making, collaborating on events and stuff. So, you know, this platform right here is, you know, what gives me that, you know, opportunity. And, you know, I'm trying to take advantage of it. You know, I'm still, I consider myself a pretty young guy, you know.
You're
so, you know,
definitely a young guy.
Yeah, I mean, we're all young. But, you know, I'm definitely, you know, in that, you know, point in my life where I want to really just expand my skill set and, you know, just network with as much people as we can, quality people as I can, you know, to get me to that next level and to get me to, you know, to achieve my goals.
Very well said.
And as you guys can attest, doing a podcast is not, you know, it's not an easy thing to do. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into behind the scenes, whether it's, you know, post production or pre production, just setting up things. It takes time, and time is a key factor in a lot of the things that we do.
Yeah, I felt like y'all were shook when we were like setting up. I was like, yeah, y'all can talk, y'all can laugh now.
Like, no
pressure.
But no, I really enjoyed listening to you guys' podcast, and I also like the fact that you guys highlight those businesses because, again, like when I look at you guys' Instagram, when I listen to you guys' podcast, like some of these businesses I didn't know they existed, and I'm like, oh, I can do that. You can eat there, like, and those are very important conversations, and those are very, very important things to highlight, and I think it's helping the community discover other part of the community, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a big impact on people, you know, and I realize that I love, you know, solving people's problems and stuff. And it's something that Nick and I feel like are pretty good at, you know, and we want to keep helping, you know, community and stuff. And
awesome.
And y'all, like what y'all are doing, like is great too, because I mean, like the voice y'all have for women, you know, and everything like that, like it's very powerful and it's great, you know. It needs to be done. It needs to be, you know, heard out there. So really admire what y'all are doing too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so what made y'all want to start?
So, I mean, we've told the story a million times probably.
Hey, same as us.
But
Yeah.
I will say for, you know, we've been friends for 9 years. We met in college, FGCU.
Go Eagles.
And we've always talked about doing like a YouTube channel, just kind of getting together. Like you said, like being women, empowering other women. That's what we stand for and that's what we are here to do. And last year, right before the pandemic, we were all in different states. Shakira was in Georgia. I was in Phoenix, Arizona. And Valerie was here in Southwest Florida. So we just figured, why not start a podcast? It'll be a way for us to kind of get away from our 9-to-5 jobs or other activities that we're doing, come together as women and talk about real issues that we go through. Because as women, we're always often told, no, you have to fit in this certain box. You have to be this certain person. And we go through real things. And we just want to be a voice for women, not only in Southwest Florida, but just in the United States and our culture, our society, just be able to stand up and talk about things that might make other people uncomfortable. Yeah. So our whole motto is having empowering conversations to empower other people. So
I love that.
Yeah.
So what's something that you feel that what's an example of something that might quote unquote trigger someone maybe?
I can think about our episode for insecurities, and we really talked about that. We actually got really deep and personal about what our insecurities are, and you know, it is a trigger to other people. Yeah. Other people, you know, other women have insecurities, whether that's their body, whether that's, you know, the way they look, or whether that's their education, whatever that it is. And we wanted to kind of talk about those things and make them feel comfortable. Like, listen, like, we're just like you, and we all have insecurities, and we just need to work on those insecurities. Like, you don't have to be ashamed of it. You just have to work on it.
It's funny that you bring up that episode because I remember exactly. I was driving on the highway to Tampa and I put that episode on. It was like the newer episode that just came out. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to listen to music. Let me just listen to a podcast. I was with my girlfriend. And she doesn't usually tune in to like some of the podcasts I listen to. She's usually on her phone doing whatever she's doing. But then I remember specifically there was something that you guys were talking about. She's like, who's talking here? What podcast is this? And I was like, oh, got your attention, huh? So yeah, I remember specifically with that episode. It was definitely a good one. So good job on that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I could definitely see why, that would cause some people to feel a little uncomfortable because who isn't uncomfortable with their own insecurity? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, for me, myself, I wouldn't be comfortable just talking about my insecurities all the time because they're insecurities for a reason. But I definitely appreciate you guys' podcast. And it's definitely a need here in the community because you don't see a lot of young Black women talking about just, their own personal lives outside of, just their professional lives. They usually try to stick to their their niche or their box that their society puts them in. Right. And I know the struggles of trying to unleash yourself from that box. It definitely takes a toll. But how has you guys' experience been here in Southwest Florida starting a podcast? Because I know it's not easy. So
Starting?
Yeah, starting up the podcast. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's funny because I remember the day when we actually we came to my house and we all sat down in the living room. And it was just like, okay, we're really doing this. I was like on the fence because I was like, we're not finna do this. Like, this ain't gonna happen. But then they sat there and they had their pen and their paper. We were all set to go. It was a lot of research. Mm-hmm. We studied you guys a lot, to be honest. We did a lot of background.
we're famous, bro. We made it.
They got their issue. But no, we did a lot of research. We attended a lot of seminars, little webinars they have virtually, of course, because COVID was just starting. And we're okay, we're really gonna do this. So we had a whole planners were out, papers were out. We did the whole LLC thing. We're we got this.
DBAs.
Fictitious
names.
We're gonna talk about that. Fictitious name.
We made some mistakes.
Yeah, we made a lot of mistakes. But we had to get that together. Then, we got our marketing person over here. She's like, oh, we have so much more stuff to do, you guys. We have to make sure our sound is good. We have to make sure we're promoting ourselves. It's a lot of stuff that you don't think about that goes on behind the scenes. And it's we had to make sure microphones were great. We had to make sure, I can't tell you how many times we recorded our first episode. Re-recorded
really?
Our intros.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. I was oh my God, this is another job. Yeah. But it was fun. The whole process was fun. I feel we came together for a goal and a purpose.
Yeah.
So and then we figured out each other's what one person is good at may not be something that any other person is good at. I suck at social media. That's what she's nodding her head. She's our social media go-to. She's our marketing go-to. And I'm just the one that keeps everybody in check. So it works. Everybody kind of just balances off, and everybody just feeds off each other's energy. So what, one person may not feel comfortable doing something. It's okay, I got you. I'll take it from here. So I think the whole process really makes us become better as friends too, while also giving back to the people that we care about. So our mantra is empowered women empower women. So when we feel we're empowering somebody else or giving somebody else something that we feel we lack, it's beneficial. So we're bouncing off. Somebody's taking away something at the end of our episode. That's what's important to us.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
Yeah, we had a very similar experience. When we started, it was in my living room, and we screwed on. It was that the mic holder. I forgot what it's really called. And we were sharing the mic. Yeah. Oh. We were sharing the mic. It was on our dining table. It was on my dining table, and our guest was right there. And we're on GarageBand trying to figure out the audio stuff. And GarageBand is I don't know if y'all use that, but it is a very complicated software.
I tried that, didn't work.
And they do it, and I think they do it on purpose because they want you to buy, an easier software, which makes perfect sense. So we were playing around with that, and then, by the grace of God, shout out to Woody, because I know Woody's going to listen to this episode. He introduced us to Josh, who's in the recording room right now, and, he was able to, secure us this spot. And then Josh has been helping us out with the audio and everything, so that's a huge help. Yeah. And, we can't be more grateful for that, but it's been quite a journey, and you're right, it could feel like a job sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll definitely hear the rookie mistakes in our first episode. If you go back to listen to episode 1,
Yeah, I don't
you're
want
gonna
to
hear
listen to
those
it.
chops, those
Every-
hard cuts.
Everybody's first episode is usually like that.
Yeah, practice makes perfect.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
it's definitely nice though when you do come together and that product does begin to form into something that it may not have initially started as, but eventually goes into something, you know, that's solid, that someone can actually listen to. Like, there's beauty in that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why there's a lot of people that do gravitate towards podcasts, is because, at least for me, I know there's a lot of misinformation out there. At least hearing it from the community itself, like a direct source from the community, kind of gives you a little bit more opportunity to determine for yourself the authenticity and not having somebody else determine it for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm hearing a story from Nicola about her job, and like only Nicola's perspective is something that I could take away, I'm like, okay, I believe what she's saying. I mean, she's in that position. I could believe her experience from there. But if I'm hearing it from, someone said this about this particular event, then there's a lot of different, different angles that can take. There could be a lot of misinformation, but I like hearing it directly from the sources of the people that are actually going through those issues or going through those situations.
Yeah,
But
I like that. Because if it was me talking about Nicola's job, it would have been a lot of misinformation.
believe it or not, fun fact, me and Nicola work at the same marketing agency.
Look at
we
that.
So I
don't know how you deal. I don't know how you put up with this guy 24/7. Then
Nicola could probably attest that I'm very different at work.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So how is Nick at work? Is he
That's
like
what they
focused?
say, yeah, like,
Is he animated like he is on the
Tell us more.
podcast? Like
He's like in the zone, like doing his own thing. Like if I come, like say, I will have to be like, hey Nick. He's like,
yeah.
Like, what you want,
In his
man?
zone.
Nick,
Right.
schedule an appointment with me. So I got on my calendar. Yeah.
I'm like, sorry.
It's like, dude, I'm like literally like 6 feet away from you. Like, come on. Well, now you gotta be 7 feet nowadays.
Oh,
Yeah.
Extra
So,
foot just in
extra
case.
foot. Yeah. Whatever that rule is, but whatever. Yeah.
But I know you ladies wanted to talk about a specific topic
Oh, yes.
tonight, so I wanted to make sure we get that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. Like, so I know y'all, want to empower women. That's the main goal of the
Why do you have to
podcast.
say that?
Wait. I'm sorry if I said it the wrong way. I'm sorry if I said it the wrong way.
No.
Y'all empower women, not want to empower. I'm so
you
sorry.
got
I'm
it.
sorry.
You
I'm
know,
so
you
sorry.
good.
You're real good.
So I was like, all right, what issues? I'm very curious to hear your perspectives on some issues that you feel that people need to hear, and we can just piggyback off of that.
Issues.
Issues or stereotypes, but
Okay, so there's always a double standard when it comes to relationships, because that's a big thing in everyone's lives. We all go through it, right? So, like, for instance, friends with benefits. Women, if they were to attempt to perform that or like be a part of that, they would be labeled and stereotyped into a box of, oh, they are this kind of person. Whereas men do it, they get like a high five, pat on the back, you go, yeah, keep at it. And it's like, these are some of like the issues that we like to talk about in terms of like, it's okay to express yourself and live your life the way that you choose, as long as you're being safe and smart about it.
Thank
But
you.
it's okay to be you, and it's okay to block out the noise and continue pushing on, because who cares what other people think?
Amen.
So,
And it's your decision. You're the one that's going to go to bed, and you're the one that's had to think about it. It's your decision, your body, your choice.
yeah.
so what would be like the argument to that then? So like so then you're saying that women get labeled as, in a negative way if they're friends with benefits. Okay. I guess, I feel like it's pretty broad, because like there's always like a different situation, there's missing details, that
Like what?
could be labeled, like, I don't know.
He said missing details.
Yeah,
Like, what are
like,
you
it's just so broad. Oh, like women are they get labeled bad because they're doing friends with benefits. I'm like, I don't think so. Not all the time, like. It depends on who you ask,
So we're
like,
asking you.
Okay, so what I think about it is that, I agree, like if a woman wants, if she makes it known that she wants to be single, then we should respect that. We shouldn't label it as that. I think if you are asking somebody who is looking for a certain relationship, they're probably gonna be a little more judgmental towards it, or someone who hasn't really experienced those type of situations, they're gonna judge that in a negative way. Whereas, but that's why you got to get to know who you're messing with. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you can't just jump into like a pool full of like sharks like that. You know what I mean?
So
you set yourself up for failure.
True. So for example, you're talking to a girl.
Yeah.
Just example, you're talking to a girl and she says, "We're not serious, and I do have 2 friends with benefits." What would be your first assessment? What would be the first thing you think about? And you're very into that girl. You want to, to make her your girlfriend. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I'd be like, okay. I start off like, okay, I understand that. I always want to be pretty empathetic about it because, everybody, like I said, you got to understand people's like situations, and if they choose to do that, there's a reason why, and you don't have to tell me why, like I'm no one for you to tell me why. But I mean, I would kind of hint at the fact like, hey, like, I kind of just want it to be myself. And if it's not like that, and if she doesn't respect that, then I would kind of remove myself from that situation,
That is very mature.
Basically, you're saying you're not with it. You're just like, nah.
Well, I would make an attempt to be like, hey, I think I'm not strong enough. I'm not good enough to be like, for you to focus on just me. So I got to do what I can for you to just let go of those other clowns. Because honestly, here's what I think about it. I mean, I'm like, there's no way, like, how I think about it, like, those guys can't compare to me. Like, you haven't reached that level. You haven't reached that level to where how I can provide for you. So give me that opportunity so I can, you can see that in me, and then you'll remove those 2 people and you'll just stick with me. I'll try to like make it known about that, hey, listen, like, I'm gonna put more effort towards it.
Gotcha.
But at the same time, if you're not really about it, I'm not gonna force you to do anything.
Correct.
And I'm like, all right, cool, do your thing. On to the next one.
Oh, dead.
On to the next one. No, seriously, if you're on to the next one, then I'm gonna go on to the next one too.
You ain't even on my level, like, bye.
Yeah, I like that.
What about you? What's your perspective on that?
So I definitely agree that there is a double standard, and I think that's also pushed by just general media and society. But in terms of a friends with benefits situation, I will agree that women primarily always push the culture, and what I've always liked is that they've pushed like, for me personally, the women in my life and people I've listened to, they've always pushed me to be able to like be as open and honest with someone as possible, because I still remember like a lot of friends that are girls that I've had good relationships with. They've always told me, I was like, if you're honest with me, we have no issues. And I feel like that's always been a thing that's been stuck in my head. So any relationship I've ever been with a woman, I've always, try to be as upfront as possible. And if there was a situation where, let's say, at first I was cool with being, friends with benefits, and then maybe I grew into some feelings, well, then there has to be some sort of conversation there. And if the feeling's not mutual, like Alan said, then I, have to kindly remove myself out of the situation. Because I'd rather do that than, play a fool and get hurt, or worse than that, we both hurt each other. Correct. So I definitely agree that there's a double standard, but I also definitely agree it's great to be honest up front. And I feel like that's where a lot of people kind of fall off the wagon, is that they don't necessarily communicate very well. I mean, a lot of people don't communicate very well, but not communicating when you're in relations with someone is an issue, and it definitely needs to be talked about. Just like you have to have consent to be able to have sex. You have to be able to communicate about what it is before you get into it.
But I'll be honest with y'all.
I was like,
some women, I agree with the honesty is the best policy, but I've come to find out that some, not all, some women can't handle the truth.
That is true.
So why is that? So if y'all want the truth, and why do you complain? Why do you get mad about it? So it's like, okay, sometimes we get put into a position like, okay, she can't handle the truth, so should I lie? But then if I lie, it's gonna get bad, so I'm in the lose-lose situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take the lead on that?
No, I'm gonna say my perspective on that. It's not that I feel like I'm speaking for myself. I feel like if you're lied to, it's worse than hearing the truth. You might be upset because you didn't like what you heard, but at the same time, you're very appreciative that this person decided to tell you the truth and respect you enough to tell you the truth.
So you're saying you need time to reflect?
Yes.
Okay.
So I know for me personally, if I don't like something, I'd rather say, let me think about that. Let me get back to you. Because I need to sort through my feelings, because I don't want to react out of anger or react out of, jealousy or anything like that, when I know that I do appreciate the truth. And I would rather this person tell me up front rather than holding holding back and hiding things from me. Because then when you find that out, you find out a lot more than that. That personally for me. So.
I could agree with that, because I've had situations in the past where like I've said something and it was the truth, and I got him that blown back, like where I'm like, what the fuck, but I'm like, at the end of the day, I do remember getting them texts like, I appreciated you telling me that, but I think it's just a human nature thing. No one likes to be like put on the spot, you know what I mean? Not everybody reacts well to being put on the spot, even if you're saying something that's true. Like, think about someone who's not humble. If you call them out on something that they're maybe insecure about, they may react with anger, they may react with, some sort of animosity. But at the end of the day, they might reflect back on what happened and come back to you maybe a couple of days later and be like, hey, I was wrong.
No, I understand that. So then why do you keep asking for the truth? I mean, I have this issue too, though, because I'm not gonna lie, I do get mad. Like, I'm a very curious person, so I would keep trying to find that out. And then sometimes you're right, like it does. Yeah. But I know that, there's some people who can handle that. I've had experience that, people can't handle the truth if they keep asking, like, oh, okay, fine, I'll tell you this. And then I tell them, and everything's cool. But that's not always the case, And
I feel like you guys have to think about it this way, too. Women and men, we're not so different. So if you think about it, like, wouldn't you want this person to tell you something rather than finding out?
Yeah.
It's basically the same thing. It's like, okay, like, say, for example, you had a friend with benefit, right? And you thought the mutual understanding was that we were going to be each other's friends with benefit, right? And you find out later on that this person had 2-3 friends with benefit.
I don't want a disease.
Exactly. So you would be upset, right? When you find out. Rather than this person saying, hey, I have this other friend with benefit. Are you okay with that? If you're not okay with that, then that's your decision to remove yourself from the situation. You'll be upset. It's just like the women. Like, when these things happen and men are not honest about them, you get pissed. Because if you had told me, you would have given me a choice to make, my own decision of whether or not I want to stay or whether or not I want to leave.
Yeah.
So we're more similar than
I feel like we need to get better, like, just as human nature, not just only women or men. We need to get better at, like, making decisions on the spot. Because I don't like that, like, oh, I gotta think about it. It's like, no, you want yes or no? Like, is it because there's times where I do get mad at things, but then, I do still want you, so yeah, I'm gonna say yeah, like, I mean, that's just me, but I know I gotta get better at that, being more consistent with that. But I do believe, as human nature, we just gotta be better to think on our feet. You know?
Just don't want to make permanent decisions on
That's what I
temporary
was saying.
emotions.
Exactly.
Like,
if you're upset and then you're
toxic.
like, okay, let me just say this, and then you think about it later, and you're like,
it wasn't that
was kind
You know,
of
sometimes I do
should've
that.
said it.
It's not the right.
It's
I
not.
promise you.
It's not always
Johnny.
good. Yeah, if it's like a personal decision, then by all means, go ahead, think on the spot, do whatever you want. But when it's like somebody else's emotions are involved, you have to reflect and think, like, what if I say this? Is that going to affect the person? Like, is that going to hurt them even more? And back to the whole lying and telling the truth, I feel like it's just better to be honest. No matter how dumb y'all think the truth may sound, because sometimes it really sounds dumb. You're like, oh, should I just tell her a lie? Because what I'm about to say is just really going to sound stupid. Like, I didn't leave my shoes at my friend's house. That doesn't make any sense. Like, no. But just tell the truth, because if you...
I was out feeding pigeons. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Feed pigeons. Why you get the pigeon on the phone? No. But Yeah, it's just sometimes you guys think it's harder to tell the truth, but really it's just tell the truth. Because then a woman, we're gonna reflect and think like, okay, was he lying about that then? If he just lied to me about something so petty and so stupid. So we go back like 5, 10 years, 15 minutes before what you just said to back up and be like,
And we got a lot of time to think.
Yeah.
But let me tell you,
Our mind
let me tell you
constantly
something
going.
too. I feel like the truthful guy gets labeled as the good guy, and not all
That's
women like
true.
the good guy.
They don't
So
like
then,
the bad
so then, do you want the truth or not? Like, that sometimes I think about that. I'm like, I don't know. Should I be the good guy or the bad guy here?
Right.
You know, like
Uh-huh.
I've literally gone into stuff like situationships, as I like to call it.
Situationships.
Yeah.
We love that.
And be like, all right,
Entanglements.
okay, I'm trying to get to know this person.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, if I do this from my prior experience, but I don't want to let my prior experience like dictate what my present situation is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try this. Oh, okay, maybe she didn't react like this to this, so I gotta do this. You know, it's sometimes like it's hard to read, man. It's hard to read.
I feel like the woman has to be mature in
Mhm.
order to appreciate a good guy.
Mhm.
Because, like, I know personally for me, when we were young, you know, when I was young, yeah, the bad boys. Oh my God, I'm so attracted to the bad boys. The bad boys really don't make husbands. They don't, you know. But as you mature, you see someone for who they are, and you actually was like, you know what, this is somebody that I would want to be in my life. This is somebody that I would want to have a future with because this is a good person. And then you start looking at, as the maturity comes, you start looking as if not just this person would be, you know, a good person for me, but when we have kids, like how would this person, you know, be? But if you're lying about petty stuff, when you have that's what your kid's gonna learn. So then as you mature, I feel like it becomes important.
Yeah, no, I do like that. I like that. It's all about the maturity level, you know, at some point. And I feel that, you know, I think there's some people that still kind of like in a way admire that, like, I don't want to say toxic because I feel like that word gets used too much, and I feel like it gets used too much, and not a lot of people know what it really means. I feel, but they like that, like, just not the nice type of stuff, you know, because it comes off as clingy, you know, and yeah, you don't want to be too clingy. I mean, I don't like clingy either, but yeah, I think that it's a weird situation. But you know, I do like the maturity standpoint on it. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's weird if I'm talking to somebody, right, about something emotional and they just like on the spot have an answer. I think that's kind of suspect.
They like rehearsed this.
Yeah, like I'm like,
Did you rehearse this?
This is kind of weird. Like, how'd you know I was gonna ask you that? You know, like I feel like that'd be kind of weird. I could understand if they take some time to like think about it, because if you expect me to have an answer for everything as soon as you ask me a question, like, bro, like I don't know.
So then I don't know, like, how strong is the relationship then at that point? If you really got to think about it, like, do you really love that person? Like, if you really got to think about, I mean,
I thought we were just talking about friends with benefits.
Oh, okay, my bad. I forgot. Yeah, no, I got you.
I mean, I will say back, you know, what you were saying. Everybody is different. So some people can be like in tune with other people's emotions like really quickly, where they're like, oh my God, I empathize with you. I understand what you're saying. And some people are just like,
give me a minute.
Give me like 5 minutes.
5 minutes
they don't know how to.
fine.
Yeah, they don't know how to tune into those emotions. Not that they don't care about you, but some people just aren't connected in a way that they can be empathetic and like just be vulnerable and put themselves in that situation.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, I'm all for, like, if you need to go take a walk to kind of and go listen to music, go ahead. Not like, I'm not saying like if I say something you gotta react like in 5 seconds. Nah, but don't take a freaking week. Like,
wait a minute.
Wait,
Yeah.
I mean,
not even a couple days. Like, honestly, because all you need is a good night's sleep. That's how I think. Like, you just need a good night's sleep. You know, just need to talk to other people. Not talk to me. Fine for 24 hours. But then after that, I expect a response. I expect a response.
I don't know if you're getting left on red. Like, answer me.
Be like, I know you saw my message.
Hey man, everybody has been left on red at some point, you know. So
facts.
I mean, I don't know about y'all. I don't know about y'all.
definitely
Maybe
feel
I'm
you,
just speaking for me,
Nah,
Nick, Josh.
I definitely
Josh.
feel you though. No one likes getting left on red.
Yeah.
And everybody I've ever known has always told me they never like being left on red. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's definitely the thing.
Yeah.
And we need to stop doing that, people. We need to stop doing that.
I think with the friends with benefits,
Look at me, I'm like,
from a friends with benefits
guilty.
standpoint, like, damn, this mic keeps falling. No. Okay. From a friends with benefits standpoint, I just want to make sure that, I feel like the way I would deliver it, I'd be very truthful for like what like my intentions are, and just with anything that she wants to know. And I expect the same, and if we're kind of doing that, then we're hitting it off a little bit. So I do expect some respect at some point. I'm not, I don't feel like I'm just your freaking boy toy. You know what I mean? Like,
so I have a question for y'all then.
Yeah.
In terms of friends with benefits, who would you prefer make that arrangement known first? You or the man?
Myself.
Dang, I was gonna ask him a question about that.
Flipped it, reversed it.
Go ahead.
What do you mean?
So for like, if you
I
get
wanna know more.
like, let's say for example, I don't know where people find.
okay,
people.
so yeah, for example, like, friends with benefits, like I'm trying to do friends with benefits with you. Like if I say, hey, listen, like honestly, I don't want a relationship. I kind of want to just like hook up and hit it off. Like how would you react to that? Or would you want to bring that up first?
I think the person that brings it up first has more power.
Exactly.
Because they're more in control of their emotions. They know exactly what they want. And the other person's kind of caught off guard to the point where they're just like, well, I guess I like you, so I guess I'm going to roll with this because that's what you want. So I like, they don't make a decision based on what they truly want because I feel like I don't think they got ambushed, but they just got caught off guard. And they really like that person. They know that's what they want, so they're going to do it anyway.
So this is why you take a few days to think about it.
Right.
Right.
All right.
And create that pros and cons list so you can see how it's going to work for you.
Pros and cons. Oh my God. Yeah.
I'm all saying
but they
for
have apps like
me
Tinder
first.
where you could just put
Swipe
friends with
right,
benefits
swipe
in the bio.
But
you
think
can
about
do
it
that?
though.
Yeah, they be doing that.
I don't like those setting those like expectations of friends with
Wait a
benefits
minute.
immediately. I feel like you just got to get to know the person
that's why I
and
was
then
gonna
from there.
Piggyback off what Nick said earlier, because you were saying like, yeah, you do the friends with benefits. Then you say if feelings are involved, you then have that conversation. So are you having that conversation? Like we're friends with benefits. Like this is it, or does it just kind of fall into that?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I feel like 9 times out of 10, it falls into it.
Correct.
But the mature thing would be to have the conversation.
Yeah.
But how many people really do that? You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, you're right, because that's what I was saying before was like you just kind of fall into it. Like you get to know them, you like their vibe, y'all hook up, and then it just gets to the point where y'all just keep doing that. You guys really never talk about it. You just know it's friends with benefits,
And so somebody brings up the conversation.
True.
I feel like that's just weird. Like it's already known that if you're gonna bring something at this point, if you're gonna bring something up, like in that regard, I would expect it to be like maybe like a relationship. Like, oh, listen, I'm falling for you.
Exactly.
True.
Like the friends with benefits is already it goes without saying.
Yeah.
Okay, when in that process does it get said? After the first hookup? Before the first hookup? Like, what's the proper time frame?
I think it depends on the personality. Like, if you're a direct person, you're gonna tell that person like right after it happened.
Yeah.
Like, listen, this is what's happening. Here's my syllabus. Like, don't do this. Let's go get tested together. Like, that's it.
You put together a guide or something like that.
Okay, by the bed. Here you go.
Wrote some formulas on Excel. Like,
You got a
man.
contract.
That's what I'm saying. It depends on the person. Some people are so laid back that like they probably might not ever get around to it. Another person catches feelings. Another person's still thinking this is a friends with benefit.
Right. Some people are just used to it, I guess. It depends on who the person is.
I'm gonna ask a juicy question. Have any of you guys been in a friends with benefit relationship before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh, we're going around the table?
Yeah, we're going around the table.
Oh, okay.
That would be a no.
She's like, but if I did, I'm ready. I got my whole syllabus.
Get the instruction manual. Like,
Okay, so then I'm gonna ask you guys, how did it?
Whoa. You gotta answer the question too.
Yeah.
You see how
I said
smooth that
yes.
was?
Oh,
okay.
He's like, wait a minute.
Three of us.
What about you?
Oh, I said no.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that. Okay.
No, go ahead.
You wanna hear it twice,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And so my question was, how did it start? How did it end?
So I could go first. So most of my friends with benefits all started on Tinder.
Okay.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. So it's usually like we'll have a conversation, and if the vibe is there, we'll meet up. We meet up. I mean, it could go in a lot of different directions, but from what my experience is, after that first meetup, you kind of get that vibe a little bit better. Typically, if it gets a little steamy too fast, that's when I automatically, for me at least, is more of like a friends with benefits type of situation.
Okay.
I've never really evolved a friends with benefits into like a relationship.
Okay.
I've never had that experience and never really worked out. So that's just me and my perspective. But yeah, I don't know about you, Alan.
Yeah, really the consistency just kind of dies down over time, and that's how it really ends. I've never really had a conversation. Well, I think we should stop, or like I think it just stops, just naturally, and that's why I was just a big fan of like just meeting somebody. Because honestly, like I'll be honest, like, and nothing against people who go on Tinder, but Tinder, I don't really like going on Tinder because I just feel like it's just. I don't know. I'd rather just meet you up in person. Like honestly, I don't want to text you all day. I don't got time to be texting you all day. Straight up, I really don't. I'm like straight up. I'm pretty busy. And I always like to take on different projects and stuff. So I'd rather just go meet you up. And yeah, I think what Nick said. If it gets steamy too quick, I already know how it's gonna end. It's just I already know how it's gonna be. Like I know it's not gonna be like a relationship. Like. Because I'm at the end of this, like, damn, it took me that long to really get steamy like that. Like, But at the same time, I don't judge her, though. I'm like, okay, like, I wanted it too, and if we're doing it consistently, then that means, like, oh, okay, like, she likes my vibe, I like her vibe. And, it just goes from there. And like I said, how it ends really, is just the consistency, like, maybe, like, seeing each other 3 times a week goes to 2 times a week, then to 1 time a week, then I'm on vacation, and then I'm doing this, and then before you know it, it's been like a month and a half, 2 months, and I haven't seen you, and then like
I'm reading a book.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm into this new podcast.
Exactly. But I have definitely been in situations like where it almost led to something, but then we didn't see eye to eye, and it was like, all right, then we just can't. See each other then because
this is a perfect episode because on Friday Certified Lover Boy comes out, Drake's new album.
By the time this releases though,
yeah, I know they're already gonna have their song. They're gonna just put on repeat.
Oh, I thought it was already released. Oops.
I thought it was on Friday.
I thought it
leaked to you.
Kanye.
Oh, you got the
hookup. Okay.
You didn't sign an NDA?
No, sure didn't. I got people, girl.
So I want to throw the question back at you guys, though. So have you been in a situation where, like, you have had feelings for that person, but you knew all you could be was friends with benefits, and you kept it going, or did you cut it off?
Okay.
I mean, I don't know why she's looking at me because I'm a relationship kind of person.
Oh, she never even told her side. Go ahead.
Oh,
girl.
yes. Go ahead.
Wow. I think, personally for me, I think the one friend with benefit relationship was during a time where obviously I was single, and it was a really close friend of mine, and it kind of grew into that. And at the time, as you know, again, the double standards with women, when you look at a man who has 4, 6, 10 partners, it's like, whoa, you go during your time where you're single. But then if you look at a woman who has 4 to 6, 10 partners, like, oh, she's this, she's that. Mm-hmm. So for me at that time, it was someone that I knew, I trusted, and was consistent. Again, I'm looking at my personal health, right? And it was that understanding that this is what it was and nothing more than that. Mm-hmm. So again, tested, all that extra stuff. So you're being safe with yourself and that one person. Mm-hmm. So did it go to a point where feelings involved? Yeah, but it didn't stay there, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
And how it ended, it was basically, like you said, faded out, and everybody ended up meeting new people that they were very passionate about. And that was it.
You brought up a great point, though, like being protected and stuff like that, like making sure you're not going to catch something. It's like, okay, So did you guys like ever have that conversation? Because you guys make it sound very conversational. You know what I'm saying?
It was a very open conversation. It was, we respectively will be getting this test done, these tests done, and you compare. And if it gets to a point where it's questionable, like, this is my time to leave. You know, you're not tied into it. And it didn't start like with the sex first. It was, let's have a conversation about this first before we jumped into the sex. Because you don't want to jump and then you didn't see that little negative
red flag,
and then condom and all that stuff, obviously. But again, you didn't see that negative red flag, you know, herpes. You don't, nope.
Yeah,
I just want to go on the record and say,
it's not on anybody's bucket list. I hope
exactly.
that sounds like a syllabus to me.
I mean, but to the men out there, like, here's how I see it, and I hope, you know, some men who are listening to this can kind of like grasp this perspective. Like, I feel like, you know, for whoever my future wife is, and I'm not saying that she's gonna be like this or she went through this, but
she's listening.
I'm expecting already that she had multiple partners, and I gotta accept that already. But maybe it turns out that she hasn't. But I'm already trying to put like the worst scenario, so I kind of know how to deal with that, you know, because by human nature we have emotions and feelings, and we go through some stages in our lives where, okay, you wanted to have different partners in your life, cool. So did I, you know. Okay, you were in a relationship, cool. Like, you know, it's like everybody has different experiences. So, you know, I already have that expectation that, okay, maybe my wife did go through something like this, but you know what? Like, now we're here, and I want to focus on the present, and I want to focus on the relationship and on our family.
I feel like it would be harder for, like, again, if you meet your future wife, for her to say, oh, I've had 16 partners, rather than somebody saying, oh, I had 2 friends with benefits. And for you, I feel like for men, the numbers kind of matter to them. And that was kind of like the thinking behind it when you were a younger age, instead of saying, oh, let me add on. Thing. And again, whoever it is, if you're doing your thing, you're doing your thing. That's, again, your life, your personal choice. But for me at that time, it wasn't numbers. Like, that's not what I wanted. You know what I mean? Yeah. So again, it would be harder for a man to be like, 16? Wait a minute.
Listen, I have a rule. It's like, yo, as long as it wasn't with my close homies, you know, like that I don't mess with that. You know, I'll be completely honest. Like, as long as I don't know my close friends, but like, if you did it with some Joe Schmo clowns out there, you know, that, you know, if maybe my wife is somewhere in Texas, you know, like, I don't know anybody in Texas. I mean, I know people in Texas, but like, I'm sure that you don't know the people I know, you know, so.
There's a party clown somewhere that's named Joe Schmo. He's gonna take offense.
Shout out to my boy Joe Schmo.
He's gonna take offense to that. But I have two more questions to ask, because we do have to wrap it up. The one question I want to ask is that recently in Texas there was the Supreme Court upheld this law where essentially anybody that tries to get an abortion, they could essentially, people can go after them, they can sue them, and for roughly about, I think, $10,000. So you can't get an abortion apparently, and if someone knows that you got an abortion, they could sue you or sue someone and get $10,000 for it. And there's like forums and stuff being developed where essentially people could snitch you out. What do you think about that?
I think it's sad. I think it's sad that there are people that get to control what a woman does with her body, because you don't know how taxing that is on a woman's body, and for 9 months, and you don't even know if she's going to make it through that.
Yeah.
And people are so concerned about like the abortion, but they're not even worried about the child after they're born. It's like, what happens to the child? No one cares. Neglected at that point.
Yeah. I think it's just about greed at this point, because it's like what Lola was saying, that is very true. You don't know, and plus you don't know how the child was conceived, whether it was even consent. You know what I mean? So it's like the fact that people are now making a greed, like, oh, well, let me snitch on this person so I can get this money. Like, stay out of people's business. Like, why are you so concerned?
Don't do that.
Okay.
So apparently, how this law is constructed, let's say you're an Uber driver and you just got a call to be able to take someone to a clinic. You don't know what's going on, but you took them to a clinic. Well, essentially, someone could sue that Uber driver and get $10,000.
Okay, that's doing
because they're a liability.
We barely got any money now. Why are they trying to sue people?
I think that's a little delusional. I mean, I've had this talk with a few of my friends who are like hardcore, like conservative Republican people. So you know how most of them think about the abortion thing. I mean, honestly, like I'm a big advocate for like, I mean, listen, I'm not a woman. I don't know what y'all go through physically and how that drains you mentally. So why the hell would I, like make a decision on like your body and what you want to do with it? It doesn't make sense. And really, I guess just to play devil's advocate, really here, I guess the argument is that you are killing human life. That's.
I've heard that argument before.
So,
and again, other people have different definitions for what human life is. Some people, again, they refer to it as a baby. Some people refer to it as a fetus. It depends on the person. So you really put your judgment and your opinion on how this person identified that moment or that person or thing that person is growing inside of them. It's not your business, again.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, if we want to go on the religious aspect of things, which I didn't want to bring this up, but I'm a very religious person, so I'm completely against abortion. But at the end of the day, I mean, I do have an open mind to the whole situation. I'm not going to tell you to abort your child because that's not what I personally believe in. But in the situation, I mean, some people, they don't have a choice. Like, they probably were raped, and that's sad to say, but they're like, I can't carry this baby. Or they have health issues. Or they just don't have the funds to properly care for them. So I'm open-minded in that sense, but at the same time, I'm just not going to say, okay, yeah, go ahead and do it. Like, no. So I get what you're saying.
Definitely, we can elaborate a lot more on instances like that. And I'm sure this is not going to be the last time that we collaborate. So I do want to just give you guys a shout out. I appreciate you guys coming on the show. But we have a tradition on Toast to the Goodfellas, since you're at EQ Multimedia Recording, to ask you one last question. And I guess we can ask you individually. But we always have our guests give a toast to Southwest Florida. Leave them with a piece of advice. So I guess we'll ask you the same thing. Who wants to be the first person to answer, or do you guys want to answer it collectively?
Guys, y'all can't hold on. You gotta make a decision now. That's all we separated.
There's no week. No week.
Oh my God, you're kids, man.
No, couple days. I want to know now.
Gosh, y'all looking at me.
I don't know.
Okay, so repeat the question. I just want to make sure I got this together because I'm answering for the group here.
So if you can leave a piece of advice to Southwest Florida, what would you want them to know?
Don't have Alan look at me. A piece to Southwest Florida. My piece is to always follow your dreams. Never give up. The sky is the limit. Just keep thriving, keep going. If somebody tells you no, you say yes, and you just keep persevering.
Okay.
That's my piece to Southwest
I'm
Florida.
somewhere on your dartboard after tonight.
Yeah.
Every time she has to make a decision.
Yeah, like, freaking guy. Yeah. That's awesome. Great toast. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So can you even though this is your show as well, we're going to promote it on our platform too. Can you let everybody know where to follow y'all? How can they keep in touch with you?
Yes, you can follow us at Heels Off Let's Talk on Instagram and on Facebook. We do have a page, so holla at your girls.
They have a lovely platform, y'all. Great conversations. They'll definitely make you think and make you think twice on how you approach, your partner and, anybody you're dealing with. Really, these are very smart women, and definitely reach out to them, for any advice and listen to their show. It's very, very interesting.
DM us.
They're doing big things out here, man. Y'all wanna keep up with the trend for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes, we appreciate you guys so much.
Of course.
Absolutely.
And where can people find Toast of the Goodfellas?
They can find us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, at Toast to the Goodfellas. It's different. It's differently spelled for each name because I don't know. It's weird, like usernames and stuff.
Some things are taken, some things are not.
So we have a YouTube channel, Toast to the Goodfellas. It's just how it sounds. Follow us anywhere if you can, everywhere. And we have, like we said earlier, we have, podcasting episodes. We have, segments that we've done with local small businesses. And, if you want us to help you out with some marketing, just let us know. We do offer some very affordable, like, marketing for, like, startup businesses. And we have our portfolio in our pages. So check us out, listen to us, and, just hit the like button and subscribe.
Definitely.
Awesome.
We do also have a tradition. Mm-hmm. It's called 3 for 3s. Mm. So it's basically you guys giving us 3 takeaways, 3 advice for our listeners.
3 takeaways. Yeah. You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So I gotta think on my feet. Make a decision. 3 takeaways. First takeaway is that, I love how y'all can have a very, like, formal discussion, even though I don't think we disagreed on many things, on some things, but, like, we're able to keep it cool. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, and there's always saying, oh, well, like, I don't know if I could be friends with somebody who disagrees with me. And I disagree with that saying because, like, I don't know. I judge somebody more for the person they are, not what they think, because everybody goes through different experiences. So I understand that you're going to have a different perspective than me, like maybe like, I said I've gone through situationships, maybe you haven't. That's why I have a certain view on things, and, I expect you to respect that. You don't have to agree with me.
Definitely.
So that's one takeaway. The second takeaway is that y'all are really gonna blow up because y'all really know how to have a great conversation. Y'all know how to flow. Y'all are very confident, very well spoken. And something that I feel like I gotta be better at. So I'm improving on that. And the third takeaway I would say is I'm very impressed on you all going through, like, diving through deep topics that people don't want to talk about because like approaching the boogeyman. Nobody wants to approach the boogeyman, and they're afraid of that. I'm not afraid of that. Like, let's go. Like, I want to talk about it. I want to solve issues. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. I'm gonna let you know how it is. And I love how y'all deliver the message. And something that I can learn from y'all is my personal delivery. I don't deliver stuff the best way. Me and Nick sometimes go at it because how arrogant I can be. I understand that. I understand.
Yeah, but both, brother.
But definitely that's you said 3 takeaways, and then was that it, or
it could be 3 takeaways or 3 advice.
Okay,
for our listeners.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm so happy I put you on the spot first, bro. Give me time to write some notes.
Go ahead.
He had to wait a while.
Go ahead.
So the first thing I would say, I got to refer back to my notes. Actually, I remember is to make informed decisions, whether it be with their potential partner, with potential friends with benefits, or your potential, future wife. Make informed decisions about who you want to be with. That would be my first takeaway. My second takeaway is elections have consequences, and to also make informed decisions when you're electing your officials. If you don't like how certain things are going on currently, you always have a voice. You have platforms like these where you can make your voice be known, and you can make a difference as long as you're consistent. And then my third takeaway is just that Southwest Florida, as you can see, is growing. This is not going to be the last collaboration that each one of us does. Right. We're going to consistently create new content. We're going to consistently meet new people. And just staying consistent is key. I want that to be the last takeaway. No matter what you do, if you're consistent at it, you'll be successful.
Easier said than done, but that's very true, bro. Well said.
Yes, definitely.
So, yeah, those are 3 for 3s.
Very nice takeaways, guys. Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us on the show.
Yeah.
Of course.
Thank you for accepting the invitation.
Right. Appreciate it.
I
already told you guys. We studied you.
It was fun. I'm looking forward to more combos like this.
Yeah,
It was fun.
It's healthy.
Right. Toast to Goodfellas, EQ Recording.
We out.